champions and the boxing superstars, where are you? I'm waiting, let's fight. I'm the most avoided boxer.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games were missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, now, I wanted to give my little thoughts on the fight this past weekend with Jared Anderson and Charles Martin. Really good fight. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good fight. You know, I thought Jared Anderson was entertaining throughout the whole fight, like from before the fight even happened, like when they had the whole Roy Jones conversation where he was, you know, just opening up, being a little vulnerable, and he was talking about the pressures of being a fighter and how hard it is, and he said, "It's the pressure though." He was saying all that, you know, and he kind of cried, and you kind of got to see the more of a human side of the fighter, and Roy gave some great wisdom to him because Roy's been in the game for a lot of years, so he's everything Jared is feeling, Roy has felt that 10 times over. So that was really cool. Then on fight night, you know, his entrance with the band, and you know, I thought that was great. I thought it was a great entrance. And then as for the fight itself, you know, he fought Charles Martin. Now his initial opponent, Jean from Kazakhstan, hard southpaw power punching fighter, very similar in style to Charles Martin, but Charles Martin's a veteran. Charles Martin's been, you know, he was champion, albeit, you know, he was champion because Glaskov, right? Glaskov, is that who he beat? Glaskov back all those years ago broke his leg, and Charles didn't even look impressive when he won the title, but nonetheless, he was a world champion, and we can't take that away from him, no matter what. And he's been in there with some good fighters, you know, really good fighters. Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz, Gerald Washington. I believe he fought Kanaki. I'm going to say he fought Kanaki. I could be wrong on that one, though. But he's, nonetheless, very experienced, hard-punching southpaw. And I actually think, and I was saying this my last video, I think I said in my last video, but I was thinking it at least. I feel like Charles Martin has actually matured as a person and as a fighter. And I actually believe he might actually be better now than when he was champion. Just being honest. So, Anderson fought him, right? I thought there was a clear hand speed advantage, as there should be with Jared being significantly younger. He showed that in the early parts of the fight. And you saw Martin just kind of pawing with the jab and moving away from Anderson. He was trying to get Anderson to expend a lot of energy early in the early rounds, so that in the middle and later part of the fight, he could take him to those proverbial deep waters and drown him. And Anderson showed some really good skills in this fight. He obviously showed speed, quickness, but most impressively, even being a heavyweight at around 6'4", versatility, the ability to switch from southpaw to orthodox and be successful out of both stances. Yeah, he scored a knockdown out of the southpaw stance. It was kind of like it was a right hook, but like he didn't turn it all the way over, so it was kind of a flash knockdown, but a knockdown nonetheless. Now, the really cool thing about this fight is that Charles Martin did have his fair share of success fighting in spurts. You know, he was able to land that left hand on Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson keeps making the same mistake of like when he's in the pocket of pulling straight back. And for anybody who's been in the ring at all, even just a spar, when you're sparring, when you're fighting somebody, you don't want to pull straight back, because if you're close to someone like this and you pull back in a straight line, you're right in line to get hit. So you always want to step off to your left or step up to your right and try to get that next angle and get the opponent to reset and for you to make your next move, right? And so he didn't do that, and he got caught with some left hands he probably shouldn't have got caught with. But that's what comes with learning. That's what comes with learning and experience and these kind of things. And you know, Charles Martin hit up was dangerous to the very, very last bell. Like even in the 10th round, it's a big ass lizard. Even in the 10th round, he was very to the last bell, he still hit Jared Anderson with a straight left hand. I don't think Charles Martin won a ton of rounds. I think maybe he won 2 rounds, maybe 3 if you want to be generous. So it wasn't like a controversial fight or anything like that. It was pretty straightforward. Jared Anderson wins. He gets tested enough to where he gets some good experience, but he wins the fight in a clear fashion. And as far as the fight, you know, I think Jared has a lot to work on. I will be honest, like it is getting a bit agitating Like, every time he fights, I understand we don't have a lot of American heavyweights, and he's probably the most dynamic talent we have right now. But, like, I just think the hype is a bit too much, and I think they need to calm down a little bit. Riddick Bowe, he is not. Terrence Crawford at heavyweight, he is not. He is Jared Anderson. Let him be Jared Anderson. You know, stop putting so much pressure on the kid. He can really fight. I don't think he's ready for the guys in the top 5 or even the top 10. So I feel like Top Rank, you know, his next fight, I'm looking at him fighting the likes of like Efe Ajagba, Stephen Shaw, Johnny Rice, something along those lines. Maybe a Makhmudov if they really feel confident. But like nothing of like, he's not going to fight Hrgovic or Joshua or anything like that. I still think he's 2 or 3 fights away from that level. But yeah, you know, congratulations to him on a good performance. And on a different note, I want to say this, and I want to end the video on this note. You know, Anderson did his thing. He's still got some things to work on. I'm not gonna make too much of it. You know, I have my opinions about it. I don't think he's quite as good as advertised, but he's still a work in progress. So we're gonna see how it develops. But on a more positive note, I want to talk about Charles Martin, right? Because I was thinking about this while I was watching the fight. Charles Martin, I have so much respect for the guy. I feel like in boxing we're so quick to really villainize guys and, you know, kick dudes when they're down. Especially a lot of boxing fans can be very toxic, right? So Charles Martin, when he was champion 7 years ago, when he was like 30 years old, he was made fun of a lot because, you know, he walked this earth like a god, and then like you know, he got knocked out against Anthony Joshua. I think he got into a car crash because he bought like a really expensive car. And, you know, he kind of started spiraling out of control. I interviewed him in 2017, and he was off the wall crazy. And there was a certain perception about Charles Martin, but then when you watch him do interviews now, you see how he carries himself now. Totally different guy. Calm, cool, collected, laid back. Seems to be a family man from what he talks about, you know. And I also think his maturity, not just in his behavior, but like in his fighting, it even matures in his fighting. Because I remember the first time I seen Charles Martin do an interview like many years ago with Ellie Setback, he said, "Yeah, a lot of these heavyweights can box better than Charles Martin, but they can't fight better than Charles Martin," right? And now you don't see him trying to just outfight everybody. You actually see a Charles Martin that actually thinks and is patient and tries to do things with the left hand. Obviously, he's up there in age, so, you know, he kind of is what he is as a fighter, but I feel like he's tweaked some things, and he's actually become better as he's matured in and out the ring. And I feel like that's something we should celebrate. He's the first guy to really went around against Jared Anderson in the pros, the first guy to take in the distance, the first guy to really buzz him and show any sort of vulnerabilities. Keep in mind, he also dropped Luis Ortiz twice in one of the better fights we've seen in a while. And he had some good wins at the mid-level of the heavyweight division. And he fought Anthony Joshua. He's actually got a respectable heavyweight resume. So, you know, Charles Martin, to me, is a bit of a success story in boxing, because he went from being one of the biggest jokes in boxing to now being like a credible, respected heavyweight. And to me, that's a huge W. So shout out to Charles Martin and the turnaround he's had in his life and as a heavyweight boxer. But yeah, as far as Jared Anderson, you know, Johnny Rice, Stephen Shaw, Ajagba, something around that level is what I should expect next. And I hope people please like pull back the pipe. Riddick Bowe, he is not. He's very good. He's got talent. But you got to remember, like, Jared Anderson is 6'4". We live in the age of the super heavyweights, and if he doesn't clean up some of the defensive mishaps he has, like pulling straight back when he's close to fighters, he's gonna get ironed out with a straight right hand or a left hook. So any heavyweight who has a really good right hand or a left hook is liable to knock out Jared Anderson, and that's just that. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang It. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.